Hey, welcome back. It's B Plus, and it is time for yet another recap countdown. And today we're going to be taking a look at 1K Phew's brand new project entitled As I Am. Now, we know ever since 2017, when 1K Phew signed with Reach Records, he's dropped a number of projects, starting out with his first one, Never Too Late, and then in 2019 he dropped a couple of projects entitled What's Understood and What's Understood 2. And obviously everybody remembers last year around this time, in the year of 2021, he dropped a joint project with Lecrae entitled No Church in a While. But this is an album that feels a little bit different. It almost feels like a debut project for 1K Phew, just because the other ones that I named before kind of sound like mixtapes, and then obviously the joint project with Lecrae. But this one is just front and center 1K Phew, and it really feels like a debut, even though it's not a debut project. Now, I've been joking all week about how this project has broke my format when it comes to how I do an album review. This recap countdown is pretty simple. I take a look at my 5 favorite bars, my 4 favorite beats, my 3 favorite tracks, my 2 favorite features, and I'll round everything out with one recap. But I just felt like I've had more than 4 beats that I've enjoyed. It's been more than 3 favorite tracks. I feel like every single day I have a new favorite track, and this project was just loaded with features from top to bottom, so it really feels like it kind of broke my format, but I'm gonna do the best I can. You guys stick around for this recap countdown.
5 bars.
To get this flavor, you gotta be hoops. I ain't finna be jumping through your hoops. You ain't finna be jumping in these coops. I ain't finna go back and forth with you. I got a Louis umbrella with me when it's raining. I gotta stay down and be with the people. Counted the bread and double the fish, but don't compare me to Jesus. I need a Whitney like right away. Gospel rap back like a holiday. They say this night I got time today, cause they never gave it the time of day. Never took your pain serious, always arguing with you, even though it's too late to apologize for all you've been through. I'ma try my best to fix it, I know that's deja vu. Even though y'all ain't seen this yet, just know we ready. Coming in with this water, flooded on me, just broke the levee. Had to go pray a little harder till my father life is heavy. Jesus gon' take that wheel and he gon' whip it like a Chevy.
Okay, so those are my 5 favorite bars off of 1K Phew's brand new project entitled As I Am. We're gonna kick things off with number 5. That was on Back and Forth. Just a really simple, clever line there mentioning Flav and hoops. And that's just a callback to a pretty bizarre reality show in the early 2000s called Flavor of Love, where a bunch of women were vying for the love of Flavor Flav. And I believe he chose the young lady Hoops on that show. So that was a callback there. Number 4 was The Offering. I enjoyed that just because a lot of rappers nowadays compare themselves to Christ and to God and things like that. And in this metaphor, 1K Phew kind of does the same thing with mentioning the miracle that Jesus performed, turning the fish and the loaves to feed people, and which is what 1K is trying to do and reach in the hood. But he kind of makes the point to say, don't get me confused with Jesus. So I thought that was really cool to make that distinction. And then number 3, not much to say about it, just his declaration that gospel rap is back. And that was just like the first track on the album after the Zaytoven interlude to start things off. And I thought it was just really, really dope. Moving on to number 2, that was on Toxic Temptation. I wasn't ready for like the mature bars from 1K Phew here. Just talking about marriage and something that a lot of husbands struggle with, just to really acknowledge and be empathetic and feel our wives' pain. So it was really cool to hear those mature bars from 1K Phew, and then they kind of round things out with Save Me. I just really like that, just because the water metaphor with busting the levees, and the water being the Holy Spirit, that living water. So thought that was really dope. And then he had the line about take the wheel. So we talking about driving, but you could also use WIL and it's not WHEEL. So taking the wheel, taking our wheel, because that's something that we're always going to be kind of fighting, whether it's like a physical wheel or just turning our wheel to bend it towards the things of God. So those were my 5 favorite bars. Now let's move over to my 4 favorite beats.
4 beats.
But if you get me out of this jam, Lord, I'ma go to church every Sunday.
Keep me safe. Now I lay me down to sleep, and if I'm hurting, get to my knees and pray every night, every day. Look to the sky, hope for mercy. I'm not living for the trophies and fame. If today's my last day, I'ma live it up. Want some life and love and reason, and no solo cup. So let the church say yeah.
Father Abraham had plenty sons, and I am one of them. Ain't no sense in playing, cause I'm too player, I ain't one of them. Bless not let my hand, and I'ma count it right in front of them. I'm an east Eastside church boy coming and stepping, please don't mind me. Light of mine too bright, can't find me. Tell the evil, get behind me. Tell a twin to tell a twin. When I'm counting up, grace is amazing. Spin the black if I pull up on Satan. Cause I'm from the A, can I please get an amen? Thank you, Lord, we done came a long way from the basement. At the bottom, we was shivering, shaking. It was too cold, can I please get an amen?
Counting up 100, 2012 money. Give it to my kids, tell them keep the thing running. I forgot to make it.
Came from the turn, now I'm going places. Cut on my life and I know they hate. Jumped on that porch, I'm like Brunswick. I took my shot just like NBA. I still don't care about your friend, babe. She just gon' look when I'm rocking the mirror, then licking my feet, that gon' make a judge.
Okay, so let's go ahead and dig into my 4 favorite pieces of production off of 1K Phew's As I Am, starting off with number 4. But before I hop into it, I do want to do my best to shout out all the producers as we walk through here. So starting off with number 4, that was Safe. That was produced by Hero the producer, Zay-Bands, and sounds from Ike. I love the bass line on this song. I thought the beat was just, it was perfect just because obviously 1K Phew has a very unique, powerful voice, but then the singer Jalen Josie, she has a wonderful voice as well, and I thought the beat did very well to complement both of them. Moving on to number 3, that was Father Abraham. That was the song that featured What Up RG. That was produced by Juberlee and also DVDX. I thought that was probably the most creative beat on the entire project. Really enjoyed that one. Moving on to number 2, that was A Man Again. That was produced by Carvello. And it was just the organ, the 2 different ways they used the organ on there, and then just like the O's from the choir. Like that song had me hooked from the second I heard it, the second I heard that beat drop. And then for my favorite piece of production on this project, it has to go to Off-White J's, the first full track on this album. It just had a triumphant sound to it. The snares that came in, the 808, and then obviously just like those horns, it just felt like very victorious and a good start to the album. So those were my 4 favorite pieces of production. Now let's move on to my 3 favorite tracks.
3 favorites.
Used to live my life in past tense. 21 years I gave my folks embarrassment. 21 years trying to listen to the gangsters and the terrorists. Had a good life from the jump, but I ain't cherish it. Now I gotta go make it up for Glenn and Harriet. But I thank God for the east side. Even if I can't save everybody, we try. Lord, I got that one relationships to revive. Father, let me down to sleep, I pray. He took the wheel when I gave him them keys, that's valet parking. Yeah, and Adam tried to live when he finally seen Eve, that's Olive Garden. I had to go leave that pirate ship, I was tired of that arguing. Then I dropped 13 on a Space Jam rocket, I'm no James Harden. Praise the Lord, when I'm counting up, grace is amazing. Spin the black if I pull up on Satan, cause I'm from the A, can I please get an amen? When I almost hit the ground, I end up standing on the same tools. When I try to play true for them, my life had to remain true. Most of these so-called hitters ain't hitters. These so-called killers ain't killers. These streets ain't getting no millions. Tell the truth, capping. Tell the truth, you never shot that. In a man, you never got that. Really, you should be grateful. Be grateful.
Okay, so now it's time for me to try to do my best to explain why these are my 3 favorite songs on this project. Like I said, it was I had a lot to choose from. I think I had about 6 or 7 that I was trying to make my case for. So these are the 3 that I went with. Number 3, Save Me. I really like this one just because it felt like it came directly from his heart. Like a lot of the songs, or all the songs on the project, sound like they came directly from his heart, but this one felt like really emotional. Like he mentioned his parents by name and how he put them through a whole lot. He also mentions just like how he's trying to really do this for his hood and really trying to do this for the people that are close to him, and just the same way that Christ saved him, he's trying to get them to accept that same salvation. So that song was just really powerful to me. Moving on to number 2, man, it was just, number 2 was A Man Again. It was just one of those songs that where if I actually did reaction videos, I don't do a whole lot of reaction videos to songs, but I just wish that you guys could have saw my reaction from the time that I heard that first run to the time where the beat dropped, and then where Triple E came in and when Lecrae came in. Like I was just in complete shock. And actually one of my friends, Mitch Durrell, a fine hip-hop artist in and of himself, he did a reaction to that song, and like if you can just look at his reaction, you will see what my reaction was to that song. So A Man Again, that's my 2nd favorite song on this project. And then for my favorite song on the project is Just Grateful. I just connected with this one from the second I heard it. Just the message of it, we can all stand to be a little bit more grateful. Living here in America, sometimes we can just really get focused on first world problems and get to complaining about stuff that we have no business complaining about. So we really can just be grateful for the lives we had, be grateful for the salvation that Christ has granted us. So and then just like when the choir came in, it's just like how the song ended, it was just a really, really dope song. That's my favorite song off of 1K Phew's As I Am. Now let's hop over to this probably is the second, well, not the second hardest, this is probably the first hardest part about this recap countdown, picking a feature. So let's go ahead and hop into this.
2 features.
Some things you gotta learn, the more you live, the more you know. I got my first advance, and I went straight to the jurist though. Been in the studio, parts garbage as usual. We know you're not really hard, we pulling your car like Yu-Gi-Oh! You hit me out of my dog like a terrier, he got his logo dripped out like aquarium. I got my logo and put it on hoodies, I'm freeing my people, I feel like I'm Harriet. They talking down and I think it's hilarious. Like my first name, you can never be me, you a hater. I'm more like Miguel, cause this love is a sure thing.
Like a rose to a thorn, here I stand. And if the sun doesn't shine, that's God's plan. When I'm not perfect in your eyes, might not understand. Oh, take me as I am. Oh.
All right, now, like I said, this was probably the hardest part of the recap countdown, picking my favorite feature. So what I decided to do was pick one rap feature and one non-rap feature. And once I did that, it got a little bit easier, but I took it a step further. And for the first time ever doing a recap countdown, I asked the fans of CHH on Twitter, and it actually kind of jived with what I was thinking. So the first one, or the second favorite feature on the project, that was Aha Gazelle. He won the poll, 63% of the poll actually. And for those who are Christian hip hop fans and have been Christian hip hop fans for a while, you know that 1K Phew and Aha Gazelle have quite a few features together. So it's no question that they have a lot of chemistry. And Aha just gave you everything. He gave you like the wavy singing, rapping at the beginning, and then he gave you some bars at the end and really switched up his cadence. So that was my second favorite feature. And then my first favorite feature was Jonathan McReynolds. And if I'm being honest, Jonathan McReynolds is one of my favorite gospel artists. The second I heard that he was going to be featured on here, I was like, this is going to be my favorite feature on the project. So I already had really, really high expectations. And then once I heard it, I was just like, it exceeded them. I was just like, then this is probably one of my favorite songs on the project, just because I thought that they just had a really, really good chemistry for this being the first time of them collabing together. So with that being said, now it is time to hop into one final recap.
1 recap.
Okay, so in conclusion, I want to thank you guys for checking out this recap countdown of 1K Phew's brand new project entitled As I Am. And if I'm being honest, I really wasn't ready for this project. I really wasn't checking for it. I was excited about it to a certain extent, just because the run that 1K's been on this year, he's had a ton of dope features, and pretty much the 2022 Summer Reach playlist, it was pretty much like a 1K Phew mixtape, because he was featured throughout the entire thing and he did a great job on all the songs. So I was kind of like on a scale of 1 to 10, I was probably about a 5 and being excited for the project, maybe a 5 to a 7. But obviously with What Up RG, the highly anticipated project came out last week. I was working on doing a recap countdown of that. If you haven't checked that out, I encourage you to do that. But while I was working on that, I didn't want to start listening to the project yet. So late Saturday, I finally started digging into it and I was blown away. Went to sleep, woke up on Sunday, and I was still just like, what am I listening to? Like, this is a phenomenal project. So I start reaching out to some of my friends, my older brother V, my homeboy Ash. I start reaching out to them like, are you hearing what I'm hearing? And they were just kind of like, yeah, we're hearing the same thing. And then I went over to Mitch Durrell's YouTube channel and I watched him having like his live reaction to the entire project. I'm like, okay, everybody's feeling the same thing I'm feeling. This is definitely a fire project. So I was blown away. This album is making me a fan, or it has made me a fan of 1K. I only really listen to him as just kind of like that hook guy, or that guy who's just like a really good feature. But I just really been blown away by the project, and he has gained a new fan today. So I do have a prediction that I want to make that's going to happen in the year 2023. This is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that 1K Phew gets together with What Up RG. And as you guys, some of you guys may not know, when What Up RG's laptop, I think it was his MacBook, got stolen, it had a project on there of 1K Phew and What Up RG. I believe it was called Birds. So I'm hoping that next year we get that project also with a tour featuring What Up RG and 1K Phew. That would be a really dope experience for the Christian hip hop community at large. So that's one of my predictions for next year. And one more thing before we get out of here, I do want to talk about the album cover art. I thought it was amazing. I thought that just like the visual image of just like how beautiful like that stained glass was as it was shining through, and then the little girl standing in the church. I believe that was I heard somebody say that that was his daughter, or that is his daughter, standing there in the church. But it's just like this beautiful stained glass, but the church is in ruins, and you have the future. You have a young girl in there. So I thought that was dope. But then like I believe it's on the back of the cover. Like I only have the digital copy. I don't have a physical copy, but the back of it is just like this beautiful church with 1K standing on top of it. So to me, it just kind of symbolized that from the outside of the church, it can look a certain way, but then from the inside of the church, a lot of us, whether how saved we think we are, how long we've been saved, whether it's been 56 years or whether it's been a week and a half, we all have like a little bit of a messy inside, if we're being honest. So thought the album art was good. Thought the project, like I said, from top to bottom was fantastic. Probably one of the hardest recap countdowns I've ever had to do. So go wherever you need to go to make sure you stream, buy, support this project. And like I said, hopefully we get a tour next year with What Up RG and 1K Phew. And Reach Records is not done this year. They have more albums coming out. Hovey, Tadashi, and obviously Church Clothes 4 coming on November the 4th. So you guys keep it locked. You guys stay on top of things, just because CHH is going up this year to end the year. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for checking out this recap countdown. And until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.
Take me down to the water. Lord, I'm ready for a dip. Take my hand, put it in order. Coming out with the drip. From the crown of my head to the soles of my feet, Lord, I need you to baptize. Baptize.